Well, they rescued, recovered, and rebuilt New York City following the 9/11 terrorist attacks. But 8.5 years later, 12 out of the 10,000 health cases from first responders and their families are actually going to go to court in May. Well, for more on this developing story, let's cross live now to our correspondent Marina Portnoy, who joins us in New York City. Hi there, Marina. So fill us in on the details. What is the basis, the claims of these lawsuits?
Well, Dina, essentially all of the defendants that make up this lawsuit are either 9/11 rescue or recovery workers. And all of them, from what we understand and what the lawyers have said, are ill. They are suffering from serious illnesses such as respiratory problems, chronic bronchitis, asthma, and even cancer. Now, all of these defendants believe that it is because they were not given proper breathing equipment to work with in the 9-month rescue and recovery effort following the September 11th attacks that they have now fallen ill. Some have even died. And experts have come out over the years saying that all of the toxins that were in the air due to the buildings essentially collapsing, the mercury, the asbestos, the list goes on and on of the toxins that were just swimming within the debris. And it was just a week after September 11th when the Bush administration came out and said the air was safe to breathe. So when we saw hundreds and thousands of these courageous rescue recovery workers go down there and dig through the debris, all they had was paper masks. And a lot of them believe, most of them believe, that are part of this lawsuit, that it is because of the negligence of the federal government, possibly even the city government, that they have all fallen ill. There used to be a 9/11 Victims Compensation Act that essentially the federal government gave out money so these folks could go and get some medical treatment. That has closed. So a lot of these people cannot even go back to work anymore because they're so ill. They don't have money to pay their bills. And that is what has led to this lawsuit that is comprised of nearly 10,000 people.
You mentioned all those toxins in the atmosphere. So with so many sick and dying, I mean, why has it taken so long for just 12 9/11 first responders to finally get their day in court?
That's right, just 12, and that dozen will include firefighters, police officers, Con Ed workers, transit workers, from what we understand. And based on how the trial goes, that will set the pattern for the following cases. But the reason it has taken so long is because city lawyers have essentially fought a lot of the claims that have been made by the lawyers that are spearheading this case. And in some cases, the city lawyers have been right. The firm, the lawyers that are spearheading this lawsuit, the name is David Werby and Paul Napoli. They listed that some of their clients had cancer when they actually did not have cancer. One being a New Jersey police officer, another a New York City sergeant, a New York City police sergeant, and there were mistakes made. And the city lawyers challenged a lot of the claims, saying these people are not sick, or if they are sick, it is not from 9/11. So that is what delayed this process thus far. But as we're reporting right now, I think May 18th is when we will see the first 12 cases go to trial.
What about the 9/11 federal health legislation, though? Is there any progress on that and that bill actually being signed, Marina?
We know that there's still a lot of grassroots movement. There's still a campaign for it, a fierce one here in New York City. But what we see happening in Congress on Capitol Hill and from the president, it doesn't seem to be a sure thing. President Barack Obama did announce that he would double the aid for firefighters, police officers. I think the amount was about $750 million. But what the legislation is asking for is $11 billion over a course of 30 years, because these firefighters and police officers are dying. They are coming down with cancer. It's something that nobody ever expected 8 years ago, 4 years ago. According even to the New York State Department of Health, more than 800 firefighters or police officers not related to 9/11 have passed away, and more than 300 of those cases have been cancer cases. But right now, this legislation remains in limbo, but the people I speak with spearheading a push for the bill say they will not rest until it is signed and it becomes law.
I know, Marina, you have brought us a lot of interesting reports about this issue from New York City, and you're keeping on top of all the details for us live there in New York. RT's Marina Portnaya.